You're about to meet one of the most talented, successful young men ever. You're going to learn a lot from him. He is David+Reeth.
Yes.
He is the winner of the 2012 New Jersey Collegiate Entrepreneur of the Year Award. You're a student at Caldwell College.
I'm a student.
And this award, the 2012 Entrepreneur of the Year Award, who put this on?
Rider University actually sponsored the event, and but it was my superior that headed the business division that told me about it and encouraged me to apply for it.
Here's the question.
Yes.
You get encouraged by someone at Caldwell to do this.
Sure.
What is the business that you have that you said, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to enter this competition, I've got what it takes?
Well, Awesome Auto, LLC.
Awesome Auto, LLC.
Yes. It's a automotive beautification or detailing company that I started when I was about 12 years old.
What took you so long?
What? Well,
hold on. Paint the picture for us,
Sure.
Because I have a 10-year-old and I feel he's an underachiever and I want him to watch this show. No, I'm only kidding. So you're 12 years old and you say, I'm going to start this business.
Well, it started actually when I was about 10 years old. My father has a landscaping company, and I worked for him. He strapped a leaf blower on my back when I was
Did he give you a choice?
There was a choice there, yeah.
Okay.
There was a choice, but I enjoyed working with him, and he taught me a lot. So one Sunday, he said, Dave, you want to help me wax my Peterbilt? And it was
Your what?
Peterbilt. It's a truck.
Clearly you can see how technically aware I am. Go ahead.
I am, yes. That's okay. So he said,
That's you?
That is me, yes.
Okay, so now you're doing what now as a little kid?
That car was actually my first vehicle that I ever detailed. That was the black car that just passed was 2004.
So you get into this. What happens?
Yep. I just one day, my uncle had seen the work that I do, and he runs his hand along the car. It's very smooth. And he says, can you do mine? And that was that black car. That was the first car I did. So, and then I sat down that night and just thought about it. And I said, you know what, I could maybe make something of this. And it was, from there, the rest is history.
But the idea, I know, but you're obviously leaving out a lot. The idea that you start this business and being technically good at something, being proficient. I just actually wrote an article. I write for the Star-Ledger, and I know you probably read my column every week to learn important things, right?
Sure.
Yeah, just go along with that.
Yeah.
It's a good move, kid, if you want to come back. And I wrote an article saying, what are the keys to being a successful entrepreneur? And I said, some people think just being good at something, like you're good at that. But there's so much more, right? Like? I mean,
like you said, it's very narrow to just say, I'm good at something, I can go out and try and make something of this. I mean, there's interacting with people, there's being punctual, sticking to your word. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. Offering what you say you can offer. So sure, there's a plethora of things just beyond I can do something
well. And taking risks and stepping up, because who was it at Caldwell College that actually said, hey David, you can do this?
Professor O'Rourke, the chair of the business division. So ever since I applied to Caldwell, he's been very supportive and receptive to my story. So.
But part of being an entrepreneur, part of being successful, is taking up challenges, which means you can also be rejected. Was there a part of you that said, I don't know if I want to do this entrepreneur competition? Was there a part of you?
There was definitely something of me that said, son of a gun, I'm gonna apply, and it could end up not working out well. But I figured, let me give it my best shot, and if I try my hardest, which I did, with respect to the whole application, and just state the facts. What is Awesome Auto, and who am I? And I figured if I was honest and tried my hardest, that would be the best I could do.
What do you think the judges saw? And by the way, we're seeing you with the award right there. What do you think, David, they saw in you and about you that said, you're the guy, you're the one?
I'm sure they definitely took a look. The application was quite comprehensive with respect to your future business plan and your income, what volume you do, what do you plan to do to make this happen in the future and grow it. So there was plenty of things upon which they could judge.
What is the vision? What is the future?
Well, I don't really know, Steve. I don't know what the future holds. All I know is that the here and now, I'll try my hardest and see what paths open up in the future.
You know, for a lot of people watching right now, some of whom envision themselves as entrepreneurs, some of whom may be out in the marketplace because they've lost a job and think maybe, just maybe, it's my time to try to be an entrepreneur. I know you said before what you think it takes, but internally, deep inside, what do you think it takes, as young as you are? How old are you?
I am 20.
What do you think it takes?
What do
Not
I
just technically, what does it take, but deep inside, as a person, what kind of person do you think it takes to succeed as an entrepreneur?
I think, Steve, I really think that it's just the passion. If you don't have the passion for whatever you're doing, you won't be good at it. And how can you live and breathe something, if you will? How can you live and breathe something if you don't have that passion for it?
Describe your passion for what you do.
Well, ultimately, when it comes down to it, is it about the vehicles? It's not. It's about an attention to detail. So,
explain that to me. Give me an example.
Sure. When I'm detailing an interior of a vehicle, I'm getting in all these little cracks and crevices, and oftentimes a client will come out and be like, "All right, Dave, enough. Just stop. You're good. Leave my car." But if I spend 15 minutes on getting a little stain out or a spot, and there we see
By the way, what are we looking at?
That's my truck and my mobile detailing unit. So you see the awesome auto graphics on the side, and
no detail too small?
No detail too small.
Because?
Because if I miss it, the client will say, "You missed that." They may not say, "Oh wow, Dave spent 15 minutes under my seat getting that coin out," but they will, if they see the coin, say, "He didn't get that coin out."
Finally, what's it like for you? I mean, as a student at Caldwell College, winning this Entrepreneur of the Year award. What's it like when you see the reaction of a client to the work that you have done to their auto? What's it like for you?
It's rewarding. That's it. I look forward to their reaction because I know they'll be pleased with my work.
You're proud of yourself, aren't you?
Inside, I am proud of myself, but I definitely know that it doesn't come without hard work.
It never stops. And like when people say, "I'm done, I've achieved what I want to," it never stops. That's the other thing about entrepreneurs, they know that. David+Reeth is the winner of the 2012 New Jersey Collegiate Entrepreneur of the Year Award. He is a student at Caldwell College. By the way, shout out again for your professor.
Professor O'Rourke, I thank him, and everyone at Caldwell is very supportive, and I thank all of them. It's a great school.
That's the other good thing that entrepreneurs have to remember, is to thank those who help them get to the dance. Good job. Good luck.
Great advice. Thank you so much for having me, Steve.
Make sure you come back and tell us about your progress.
I look forward to it.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. One-on-One continues with really fascinating people, regardless of their age. We'll be right back.